Well, good folk, welcome to the front porch of the 1925 bungalow. But wait, I'm going thrifting and I'm taking you with me. Now, you better come back at the end and join me here on the front porch. Go get a cup of coffee. I'm drinking mine today, and I'm going to show you everything that I purchased. Now, let's get to the store.
You could stop at 5 or 6 stores, or just one.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, how about this berry set? We'll take a look at it. Well, we're going to try to take a look at it. Let's see. At first glance, it doesn't look like it's terribly well painted. Those grapes are a little rough. Now that's pretty in the middle. And is that paint or a decal? Oh, it looks, the flowers are a decal. The bird might have been painted. No, I think this is a decal as well. Anyway, $15. Beautiful peacock. Made in Germany. Masterberry bowl. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 berry bowls, dessert bowls. So one of them is broken. I'm not really interested in that. It's okay. German porcelain. Probably from the 1920s. Now, we've seen something like this before. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and let you look at it. You'll notice that that paint is very, what does that tell you? You're all saying goofus. Yep. Well, when we look at that paint, that's just the paint that was put on goofus glass, but you're seeing a lot of negative space without any paint on it. I think this is Dugan. Dugan made a lot of, so to say, carnival. Yeah, they did. They made a lot of the goofus glass, but they also did this. They had a pattern called intaglio, I think. That's not what this is. But that's nice. $8. Yeah, I'm probably just going to leave that. But again, I think it's Dugan, and they're still using this pressed glass, and that's original paint on it. And it's very nice. And that's an antique that's going to go back to the 1920s. And I think I'll leave that there. Oh, I need to wash my hands. That has schmutz all over it. Look at you. You are cut. You are cut. You sure are. See the difference? Just look at the way, you can't feel it, but look how the light dances on that. Let's grab this. Look at how the light does not dance off of that. Not the same way it dances off of that. I think you know what that is. But what a difference when you find the cut. And that's a nice one. $5. I hope you can hear me over the screaming radio station. They love to do that here. All right, I've just turned the aisle and we're getting ready to walk down the aisle with dishes and glassware, and you and I are going to do this together. Now, you know, I don't pick up everything and talk about it, or we'd be here till the cows come home. So just because I don't pick something up doesn't mean I didn't see it. But you know how it is, I just can't stop and talk about everything. For example, there's Mildred. Hello, Mildred. All right, she's only $2.99, but I don't need you. That's the Mount Clemens pattern from the 30s. Actually, that came on the scene in the late 20s. But I don't need a Mildred gravy boat. What are you? You're a little decorative creamer. That's cute. You commemorative? $3.99. That's cute. Hola. I don't need that. Let's go down here. And, you know, we're seeing all kinds of things. A lot of this we know what it is. I know you see some pink back here you're going to want me to look at, so I'll do that. This is a Oh golly, I know what that is. I know what it is. And my mind is just gonna... Alright, there's Hawking there as well in pink. Let's pull that out and see what they want for it. I think I've already got this, or I've already had it several times. The creamer, no, that's a sugar bowl. There's no issues with it. And there's the creamer back there. Ooh, that's a little steep. That's a little steep. At $8. However, I can get a discount today, so... Alright, I know that a lot of... Okay, $8. It's a 1930s block optic, I think I remember. But again, I'll look it up. Pink Depression, Anchor Hawking, cream and sugar. Let's just put it in there. I can't get much more than... Okay, $8 times 2 is 16. Yeah, I might be able to get $20 for that. Might be able to. I'll put it down in here. People say, Scott, you should bring a blanket with you and put it in the bottom of your cart so that when you put your glass in the cart, you can put it on a blanket. Well, I don't do that. I just don't do it. Okay, that looks like that is a beautiful blue color, and I think it's a Pyrex piece, and it's only $5, and it might be an unusual one, and it has its lid. Let's see. Beautiful color. Now, you know I am not a Pyrex guy, but that color is fantastic. And it's only $5, and it has its lid. So I'm gonna put this on the floor. Take the lid and put the lid on top. Just like that, just like that. And I'll probably put that in there. We'll see later on. As you know, Pyrex isn't really my thing. But pressed glass is. Look at this wonderful little daisy and button boat. Look at that. Little crescent moon. Little boat for something. Little olives, pickles. Now, you know, I've just got, well, you know how much EAPG I've got. You saw it on, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You've seen how much I've got on the dining room table and all over the floor. I am not supposed to be buying any more EAPG until I sell what I have. Do you think, oh, sandwich. Okay, I just need to calm myself down. See, I can't, there's just so much. It's like a treasure. I feel like Jacques Cousteau at the bottom of the Atlantic. Okay, I'm turning this camera off and I'm gonna, oh my goodness, look at this. I know it's not old, it's Mikasa, but Shane loves swans. Shane, do you want this? Is she watching? I think she collects swans. And you know, Mikasa is new, but they made some good products. Hello, Pink. All right, let me turn this camera off. I just have too much to look at. This is overwhelming. Pink, pink. Very nice. 4 of them. $8.50. Now, I haven't run my hands over the top of them, but they appear to be chip-free, which is somewhat unusual for this delicate glass. 1930s, pink etched, very nice department store glass. See, or engraved, I should say. And that's going to be nice for someone. I'm leaving them there. As you have watched my last 2 or 3 drop sales, I am inundated with pink, 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 pink. And the sales of pink has slowed down. Slowed. That's the second time I've done that. Why do I want to say slown instead of slowed? Yeah. My sales of pink have slowed down quite a bit. And These are nice though, but we'll leave them there for someone who wants to take 4 pink etched little champagnes home, or little cocktail glasses home. And hello, sandwich. I don't need any of you. $14. It says there are 8 of them. I only see 4 there. So the other 4 are around here somewhere. And if I can find them, I'll group them together. I will. I'll put them back together again. Because you see, 8. It says times 8. So there's supposed to be 8 of them. Anyway, oh, I wanted to show you these as well. Classic 1930s. I love this. I have this at home. Don't need any more of it. So we'll leave those there as well. But some pretty things in the stemware department. And those are kind of unusual, that little thing down there. I see some more pink depression. I know that you do too. Oh, there's one way down here. Oh, let's get down there and see you. There's just one of you. You're $3. Pink, pink. All right, we'll leave you there. What was I going to show you? Oh, here we go. Here's 2. There's 2 more in pink. Someone really donated a lot of pink depression here. And I'm sure someone will come along and snatch them up. Poor little Georgians. Kind of hard to tell. A lot of people made that, and it was pumped out again from the 1920s into the 70s. You could still get that from, I think, from Anchor Hocking in the 70s. Speaking of Anchor Hocking, I just bought, well, you'll see. Okay, I don't think we're going to do anything with the stems today, so we got to take another look at that. Well, good folk, here we are in the thrift shops again. Yours truly, Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. How's my day going so far? Well, what's this thing? It's not old, but what is it? What is that? I don't know what that is. I know what that is. Some old aunt or somebody used to have that on the back of their toilet. Isn't it funny the things you remember? Or maybe it was some old lady that lived across the street, but somebody had that on the back of their toilet, and I remember it being like caked in dust. Anyway, that was a very odd memory to have. Thank goodness they turned the music down, but it'll come back on. That's a funny little thing. It's not old, but I like the look of it. These are not old either. So far, this is like my 4th thrift shop today, and it's one of those days you say to yourself, I could have stayed in bed. Well, I could have, but you can't do that. Now, this is somewhat unusual to have one of these that's sort of rounded. Look at that. Hola. Hola, come here, sweetie. Look how rounded it is. I like that. And you're only $5? Let's take a closer look at you. I love these boxes. Shaped, oh, a nice interior. It's got a mirror. Okay. Now, this won't bring $1 million, but I love these boxes. Wait, are you missing? No. Let's get out of the way. There's a lady trying to get around me. That's a handsome one. And we can get rid of all those scratches. This is going to date to the 30s and 40s. We all know what these are. There's no need to... All right, put you down there. And we're going to take a look at the inside. Closer look in a little bit. I need to push my cart along because I'm in somebody's way. And you are trying to look old, but you're not. It's quite all right. What was I saying? Oh, you know how it is about some days. Remember that old song? Was it a country song? Some days are diamonds and some days are stones. Today's okay. Listen, every day that you can get out of the bed, put on your own shoes, pants, hat, coat, and get out and do something is a good day. Am I complaining? No. I mean, it sounds like it, but I'm not. All right. We're going to turn the camera off and then turn it back on when something really exciting happens. Well, on this aisle, someone has donated their old Franciscan desert rose by Gladding and McBeam. It's pretty dirty and a lot of it is chipped up, but I've already gone through some of it. Ooh, there's dinner plates down there, but I don't need them. Anyway, I'll check the condition and the prices. Here's a sugar bowl, pretty good sized chip on the lid, another chip underneath. But look, there's that old original back stamp. Now that's the back stamp that's going to go back to 1941. And again, collectors love that. That's the old made in California. Okay, so I don't need any of these pieces. There's some saucers, and I know I don't need dinner plates. I did pick out 4 of the chowder bowls, or soup bowls, as you may like to call them, and I'm gonna go ahead and get them. They're $2.99 each. I'm only doing a setting of place setting for 4, and so this is enough for me. I have 4 of them down there. The reason why I'm putting together a place setting of 4 is because I came across a ton of this, sold off lots of pieces of it, and decided just to keep enough of it so that I would have a place setting for 4 people. And that's all I want. Don't want any more than that. So that's what I'm putting together. Good stuff, Thrift. I'll be the judge of that. No, they do have good stuff here. They really do. I've been here several times. I just love antique oak. But you know what? Try to sell a rocking chair these days and see what happens. Yep, it's just not quite the thing anymore. Oh well. Now that's mid-century, and I know I've seen this pattern before. I can't remember the name of it. Star something? Is it Blue Star? I don't remember. North Star, okay. $18 oven proof. That's just for that piece right there. Wow. Well, you know, I don't know, because mid-century is not my gig, as you well know. Look at the little feet on the cups. They're only $2 each. Oh well, you know, I guess I'll sort of do some price comparison on eBay, see what these things have sold for. $2 for the cream and sugar. So actually, now that I'm looking, some of these pieces are more affordable for me to possibly make a profit. That little $18 on this scared me off a little bit. What is this? Is that the creamer? What is that thing? Okay, you can you can tell. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm much more at home with this. I'm much more at home with Blue Willow, and that's Homer Laughlin, 1941. This was made. We've already talked about how to date those pieces. All right. We'll see. Maybe. All right, now this is the shelf that usually contains some of their antique items. Certainly. Oh my gosh, my father had one of these. I know what this is. My father started off work as a draftsman. That's only $5. I don't know what happened to his. But this, he would stick his pencil in here, and I don't think it sharpens it. Anyway, it does something to a pencil. And I always remember the funny smell that it had. So whether it sort of sharpened just the very point of the lead, I don't know. But that's an old draftsman's tool. And my gosh, I hadn't thought about that thing in years. Is there anything? Can't see what it says there, but I can see him now. He'd put his pencil in there and then go zip, 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 zip around. Then he'd go back to his drafting board. Well, you could sprinkle a lot of Parmesan. I don't think Parmesan cheese would go through that. Look how pretty these little boxes are. Kind of in bad shape. Here's some old hanky-panky. Ooh. Well, this is actually very old. 1930s it looks, $8 in its box. It's pretty. A little bit of a tag there. A lot of staining on that. I think I'll leave that. Look at these tins. I wish they were in better condition. And a lot of old bottles. That's neat. Is that like an old-fashioned thermos? $4. I'm gonna take the lid off of that and see what it is. And then the plastic things, of course. And let's go over here and see what it's from the 30s, probably for powder. Oh, La Lantheric Paris. La Powder de Toilet. All right. You want to powder your toilet? No, I know what toilet powder is. Look at this from the 60s. Osterizer. Liquefier blender. Oh, there's the we all know what that. Ooh, Shirley Temple with an afro. Okay, well, that's a repro. Some cookie cutters. Little things to dig through. What is this? Pastry what? Pastry cloth. She looks very domestic. Okay. Oh, I'm in somebody's way again. Oh, that's pretty. All right, I'm still in somebody's way. Let me go down here. Lemmy. Look at all the bottles. I don't do bottles. I know some of you do, and I know some of you are going to want me to go through all of these bottles, but I don't. It's just not my thing. Nope, it's not my thing. What's that one say? Dr. Hobard's vegetable disinfectant, deodorizer, and creamicide? Whatever. Okay, I am back from the shopping. You got to see a little bit of footage in the thrift stores today, but I didn't show you everything that I purchased. I'm going to show you now. I'm drinking coffee out of a wonderful old mug. This actually is from the 1920s, and it's marked on the bottom patented, and it says Jacobean, which of course we know that's, and then patent patent pending or patent received. Yeah. And then the word Jacobean or Jacobean. You can pronounce it any way you want. It's an old one, and this is hot coffee. It's good. It's very hot. All right, I'm going to put you back there, and we don't really need a coaster. But while I'm reaching back there, I might as well show you I bought 4 juice glasses. I know that's 2. The other 2 are inside. Everything has been washed and dried. So I have 4 juice glasses. This really reminds me of patterns that Macbeth Evans would do. Don't know if it's Macbeth Evans or not. Didn't look it up in any of my books, but that's my hunch on it. Take a look at, this is an embossed pattern, and these would be juice glasses probably for the breakfast table. It's depression glass in crystal, and it really does remind me of, as I just said, Macbeth Evans. Paneled optic, and there are 4 of these, no chips, no cracks, very pretty. So the first thing which catches my eye is the color. Yeah. Now, this color comes along in many different decades. So just because you see that color doesn't mean we're in the 30s, but we could be. Okay? But how about that shape? That shape. And you have seen this shape many times on this show before in both glass and pottery. That shape is indeed a shape that was popular in the 30s in both glass and pottery. And so I saw it, turned it upside down, and was thrilled to see that it's a McCoy piece. McCoy, USA. Look at that sharp. This must be early on in the production line, because look how sharp the McCoy is. You know, this begins to fade as you have more and more of them pressed. The condition on it is unbelievable, without any damage at all or any chips or cracks. So that's a nice piece. And then I'm not big into these. I've actually stopped buying the ones in crystal. They just don't seem to command much money. I had to get this one in pink, because somebody who's creating a watermelon table setting, which if you're not familiar, that would be green and pink glass, they would love to have this to place 4 green tumblers on it. And in fact, I've got 4 green tumblers. I should have gone in the house and put them on here to show you how neat that would look. There is one chip on the bottom of it. It's pretty small right there. Okay, right there, big deal. The rest of it is in excellent condition. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. So I'm thankful that I've got 2 leftover plates already made up of last night's dinner. And if you watched my short, you know what I had for dinner last night. And you know what I'm having for dinner tonight. What are you having? So I don't have to cook. I've already got 2 plates in the icebox. One I'll eat tonight, and one I'll eat Sunday night. I know you know what they are. Just as soon as I sell off all of the plates, I then find, so I have the whole set, but no plates. The liner, the underpants, you know, I don't have those. This is Vitroc, which is a type of a white milk glass, not pottery, that was made by Anchor Hocking in the 1940s. And we have the Lotus. So this is yellow. This is the whole set. Yellow, green, pink, and blue. Blue and pink. Right? And then they had underplates in the shape of a lotus leaf that these sit on top of. And it's so much fun to change the colors. Put the yellow, put the pink on the yellow, the blue on the green, and so forth. So I'm going to hold on to these. I've always said that I wanted to have the complete set with the underplates. Well, now I've got all the colors. Now I gotta go find the underplates. They're out there, and at some point, I'll find them. Let's say hello to Anchor Hocking again. Royal Ruby Red. And I either have 6 or 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, we're going to take these and hold on to these until the Christmas glass sale, which is in November. And it's either November 17th or 18th. I can't remember. I'll remind you. Just don't forget, the EAPG extravaganza is November 3rd. How could I forget? You can't walk in that front door without stepping on a piece of EAPG. It's all over the place. Okay, so we have either 6 or 8 of these, and I've got a lot of forest green and royal ruby red. If you want to do the mid-century Christmas colors, the mid-century glass in the traditional red and green colors. I did buy, as you saw, now so some of those things you didn't see. You did see me fiddling with these, and I went ahead and bought the 4 of them. And I am loving the old back stamp, which takes this all the way back to when it was first made, 1941, 42. Gladding and McBeam, made in California, hand painted. And this was the second, if memory serves. I think they started out with Franciscan apple first, and then along comes Desert Rose. And the ivy pattern that you saw in I Love Lucy, that's even later than that. But I didn't have 4 chowder bowls. By the way, Manhattan or New England? I'm not going to tell you my preference, but what's yours? Put it in the comment section below. We're talking clam chowder now. So now I've got 4 of these, just in time to pack them away, because I'm going to take all of this out of the china closet, which I have not done yet. What am I waiting for? It's almost Halloween. I'll get to it. Okay, so you didn't see that. You did see this. I've never had one in this wonderful shape. I'm loving that. Usually it's just very boxy. Now we're all familiar with these. Sometimes you would get one at the bank when you opened up a savings account. When you bought a big hope chest, cedar chest, you would often be given a small one as a little gift. They were given away to girls when they graduated from high school. We know that. These have been around for a long time. They really come on the scene in the very early 30s. We can cover up all these little scratches if we want with some scratch cover. And this one is marked by its manufacturer, which is the McGraw Box Company of McGraw, New York. This one has a nice interior with a mirror. See yourself? And a blue sort of silk. Yeah, something silky. Doesn't smell. Just smells like the inside of an old box from Granny's house. Okay. Yes, you've got one that your grandmother's jewelry was in. My mother has the one that her mother's jewelry was in. I just love those boxes. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by someone across the street who's fiddling in the back of a pickup. Oh, I know. There's a house for sale. A few doors down. That's one of the workmen who's been doing little things in it to get it ready. You also saw that, as you know, Pyrex is not my cup of tea, but I bought it. It was not expensive. The color, the primary blue color on that is fantastic. I just said primary blue. I don't know if that's what, I'm not using terms that Pyrex would use. There's the lid with the little silver, very I'm eavesdropping. What's his face? Who am I thinking of? Berard. What was it? All I can think of is Jules Jergens. That's not what I'm trying to think of. Oh, for Pete's sake. What's the name of the dude that did all that fancy work on the top of... You know who I'm talking about. Never mind. It's in and out of my mind. Anyway, this is Pyrex. It'll come to me in a minute. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to shout out the name. And I know you're all typing it in the box below. Jacques Cousteau, that's not right. You know... Little do they know their conversation is being broadcast to thousands. Well, depending on how many people watch this video. What was that man's name? I'm not... All right, stop, move on. Doesn't matter. You did see me, and I just sold not these, but the same thing a few weeks ago. Block Optic, I think. I don't remember. Pink and green, cream and sugar. Berard. What was that? It's making me mad. Anyway, 1930s. We're familiar with that. I had to. I simply had to. Now, I know you are all going to spit out whatever it is you're eating and chortle for the next 20 minutes when I tell you that I bought 1970s Tupperware, Scott. Okay, I had to. These have never been out of this bag, I don't think, or did the thrift store put these in here? I can't tell. Maybe the thrift store put them in. They don't look used. Anyway, there are times when something is so iconic, you know, that you just can't say no. How many of you had these in your 1970s kitchen? Well, they were in my 1970s kitchen as a boy. I was born in 1967, and by the mid-1970s, what memories coming home from school and getting a glass of milk and dunking Oreos in that. Actually, I was more of an oatmeal raisin spiced cookie rather than Oreos, but I just could not resist. Did that bring back memories to some of you? It sure did for me. Yep, Tupperware. And these may be unused, so I got them. I had to. And I'm going to sell them. But it's very autumnal, isn't it? Georges Berard. Georges Berard. What is it? It's... And see, if you Google that when you can't remember it, you're not exercising your brain. I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to think about it for the next 2 hours until I can remember that exact name. Yeah, I'm not going to go loopy up here because I Google everything. All right. Why do I want to say Georges Berard? You didn't see me get that, but I did. It's not a hair receiver, but this is very typical 1930s, 40s. We all know this lucite Catalan stuff. A lot of different names for it. And it's pretty common in amber. This would be for powder and rings and things on the ladies' Vanity. Vanity. Oh yes, here come the children. Oh, they got an Amazon delivery, so they're going out to get... They get an Amazon delivery like twice a day. I mean, I'm not spying. It's right across the street. I'm out here all the time. I just see it. You know, good for them. You didn't see me. You didn't see that. That cut to clear. Now that's an old one. Probably for mustard or jam. may or may not be American. Look at the lid, how it's got the cutout for the spoon. Isn't that wonderful? Excuse me. Isn't that neat? Isn't that nice one? There's still water in it because I just washed all of these things. Now, I have often said there's one company, in my humble opinion, that could reproduce either using old molds, which would be a reissue, or using new molds, which would be sort of a reproduction, I guess, of carnival glass or stretch. And they were so good at it that if you did not but know, you would think it was an antique piece. And that company is Fenton. The other companies that started pumping out that carnival glass in the 1960s and 70s, but Fenton could do it. Look at that. Not only is it rich in color, oh my goodness, but they also sprayed it with the iridescence and the stretch. They probably went in, you know, and used the same formulas that they had. I don't know if they can get the same chemicals as they could back in the old days, but that's what that is. Only it's not an antique. I know that wasn't long enough for you to see it. The Museum Collection, 2002. Fenton, handmade in the USA. So there's both labels on the bottom, 2002. Now, if that weren't under there and you only saw that much of it, I could easily be fooled into thinking that that's a piece from 1910, 1912. So I love that. Lumpy dumpy dum. Oh, let's do these. Now, I bought a couple of the North Star pieces by Salem, but I did my homework. Remember, I'm in this for the business, right? I've got to make a profit. So I will leave things which is very affordable if you're going to bring it home and use it or collect it. But if I'm going to bring it home and then sell it, yeah, I've got to have meat on the bones. So I went and looked not at what people are asking. You know my quote that I love, have you seen what it's going for on eBay? And I say, well, I've seen what it's sitting for on eBay, not what it's going for. I checked the sold prices. That's so important. The platters are doing very well. That one sold for $100. Now that could be an outlier. Remember, there's a bell curve. But some of the more common pieces were only selling for $14, $15, $16, $17. But the serving platters seem to do very well. And so I purchased this big one, this one which is a little bit smaller, see, maybe an inch smaller, and then one as an oval. And I don't have any problem shipping these. So that was $6, if you want to know. That was $5. And that was $6. So the other pieces, lovely. Some other collector is going to walk in there and flip their lid when they see it, because they're going to think, what a great price to buy and take home. And that's fantastic. But those pieces I bought to sell and left those other pieces there. Didn't want to mess with them. We had a frost. Did you? I had to bring my mum in. Sometimes I put the mum outside if it's raining, or just so that it gets some sunshine and some natural, you know. It's doing okay back there. Hello, little mum. Somebody told me I needed to trim it. I mean, I don't, do I need to trim it? I don't know. Somebody said, that mum needs trimming. Looks all right to me. My nails probably need trimming. 3 things left. Now, I said I wasn't going to do it. You know there's 18 million freaking thousand pieces of EAPG in that house. And I said I'm not buying another piece until I sell all of that. Yeah, right. Do you think I was going to leave that in the thrift store? Now, when you see it, you see, man, that is a huge sugar bowl. Well, remember, sugar bowls were larger. No, I'm not saying that that's what that is. I haven't fiddled with it yet. But it's either a covered biscuit or a covered sugar. Sometimes for hotels, table service, you know, commercial, these were much larger. This is a big one. And I've not done anything to it yet except wash it. But when you can find something like this with a lid, and this doesn't have damage on it, which is very surprising. There are all these points. I don't even feel nope, I don't even feel flea bites on this one. All these teeth. That is fantastic condition. So really, to determine whether it's a sugar or a biscuit or something else, you've got to take the measurements and then go back to the original catalogs. The original catalogs will tell you what it is, what it was meant to be used for when it was manufactured, and it'll also give measurements in many cases. And that information is also on the EAPG database for those of you who would like that. Okay, put that over there. That will make the EAPG sale. And then finally, now I need your help on one of these. I bought 2 of these. What are they? Well, they are... well, let's take a look. Pull the lid off of that one, and that's all we see. We're going to take a closer look at that in a minute. And let's take a look at this one. We'll pull they're completely unmarked. Nothing on these in terms of manufacture or anything. We'll pull the lid off of that. Ooh, that's an unusual inside. What does that, what's going on there? Is this some kind of a thermos? Why is that little insert, well, it's not an insert, that doesn't come out. But we have all these holes. What on earth is this? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, aha. That comes off as well. So what's going on here? Okay, you knew what it was. This is a tobacco humidor. And this one is in brass. I love the old patina on it. Would not touch it for $1 million. Would not take any polish to that at all. This probably dates to about 1900 or so, up to the early 20s. This one I think might be older, and I'll tell you why, but I need your help. So what does Grandpa or Granny do? They put their tobacco in there, their loose tobacco in there, and then put the lid on the top of it. Copper was used a lot because it helped control humidity. And of course, you know what that little space is for. To drop a cloth that has been dampened, or some apple slices. Sometimes men would do that to flavor the tobacco. You could put other things in there. But that's what that little spot is for there. So, I love that. Now, if you'll notice, there are no seams on it. The reason I think this is older, and I need your help, because I'm not an expert on tins, and I'm not an expert on anything. I'm always learning. I'm not an expert on tobacco humidors. I think, though, that when you see a tin that has a seam, for those of you who know your tins, okay, doesn't that mean that this is old? That this is an older? When I say older, you know, there would be a line, you know, sort of in manufacture when they no longer made them this way. the seam, and then notice at the bottom, it's seamed here as well. You know, the way the piece is put together. And then when we take the top off, you know, there's a seam right here as well, right there. Isn't that an indication of age? So for those of you who know your primitives and your old tins, if you have an answer for me, can you tell me, but you know, you don't have to tell me your reference, but if you know, it would be really great. I could look it up. I've got books in the house, but again, this is fresh. I'm just home. I got to go in and eat a pork chop, change clothes. I'm going out tonight. So I don't have time to do any looking, but I want to learn about these seams on tins. Does that indicate, and you know, for instance, like I know when there was a shift from handmade, hand-wrought, square-headed nails to the factory-produced round-headed nails. I know when that cutoff in time was. So there's probably also something to be said about cans. Okay, enough about that. That's everything, as far as I can tell. There might be something else sitting around here, but it'll have to wait until the next time. Okay, this video is long enough because we had, it's already 26 minutes, and we had the footage in the store. Thanks for watching. What did you like? What didn't you like? What are you having for dinner tonight, and what are you doing this weekend? I will, if I don't see you between now and then, didn't make any sense, I'll see you Monday night. Yes, I am having the Monday night, what is it called? It's called the Unbreakables sale with Patrick, the trusty huckster. So come join me here Monday night on this channel at 8 o'clock with Patrick, the trusty huckster, for the Unbreakables live sale. And something unbreakable like that, or that, or that, might show up at that sale. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Now wait for the cat. And so long for now. My coffee got cold. I'll drink it anyway.